Hi, Casey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Do have a plea for you today. I'm Mr. Bryant.
You see Mr. Bryant?
Yes, Jason Bryant.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Bryant. Oh,
So, he is actually not a second.
You're right, if I may. It's not a second because our investigator reached out to the county and found that the records were expunged. So,
this is still,
Your Honor, under the code, you can't use expunged records for purposes of enhancement. We reached out to appellate to confirm that as well as other people as well as from the AG's office, and they've all.
so what happened? Did it get dismissed?
So,
Expunged?
it's a conviction, though.
You still enhance it to a second?
We can't use
Not with an
expunged records,
exception.
Your Honor.
Technically, they shouldn't even know about it.
Yes, that's the issue. So for that reason is why we put a reduction to a first.
So if we could refile this as a first, but we're not like for our public division, we can't use it for now.
An expunged conviction is supposed to be invisible, but in real life, it never is. In Harris County, the ghosts of your past still pull up on NCIC.
Say when? When did the proverbial slaps on the wrist stop? You know, how old are you now?
41.
You're 41. When did we get it? You know, do you watch the news? How many times a day do people die in Harris County because of the DWI? Every freaking day, every single day. And the problem here is that what I have found when we go too low on punishment with repeat offenders, I have found they wrap their car on the pole in the next week. And that's why I have an extremely hard time of taking another proverbial slap on the wrist if you've even had one dismissed. Because who's to say you've learned anything? Tell me about the facts, please.
Yes, Judge. One moment, Judge. So the facts were the officers were dispatched to a major crash call, and on Wednesday he arrived at the accident and observed the defendant sitting in the driver's seat of the vehicle with the engine still on, and saw the defendant get out of the vehicle and sit by a tree. The officers observed the defendant to be sitting under the tree near the vehicle. And when
Did you say there was an accident?
It was a single car accident.
he had hit the tree, and then he was being treated by HFD upon the arrival of the officers. And the defendant's vehicle had right bumper damage and windshield down, the glove box open from the accident, and that's when the officer.
Blood draw confirms he was under the limit, 0.053. But crashing into a tree with two loaded guns, that's what sealed his fate.
Near the vehicle, and then the officers then observed bloodshot watery eyes, slurred speech, and strong odor of alcohol coming from the defendant, and the defendant was unable to walk due to the injuries from the accident. The defendant admitted driving, crashing the vehicle, and owning the firearm. He also admitted consuming the alcohol. And that's when the defendant was transported to Memorial Hermann by ambulance and was unable to perform an SFT due to the hospital visit. And a blood draw was performed.
What was his blood?
He came back with 153.
Did you guys enhance it to a 15 buck?
No, Your Honor, we did not.
How did they even charge it as a second when you're telling me that it's been expunged?
Originally, it was charged using the expunged records that they only ran on NCIC, and for some reason it came up on NCIC when it shouldn't have. That's the issue.
Forever, for the rest of your life, you now see, even if it's expunged, people still see it. Doesn't matter. You know, in the future, going forward, what do you think is going to happen? You get pulled over and an officer looks at your record. Right. From now on, you're looking at a minimum of 30 days in jail. I'm going to tell you now, Mr. Bryant, I don't want to take this. I don't think it's fair. You know, I don't on any seconds because, you know, there has to be consequence for behavior, and it's not fair. This is the last time you will get a proverbial slap on the wrist. I want you to understand that. anytime you get pulled over, they're going to see all this. You will get taken down. All you have to do is push a button on your freaking phone. $30 to $40 on an Uber will take you anywhere you need to go. Do you understand how much money have you paid them to represent you? How much money have you paid to represent on the first freaking DWI? And now you're back. I'm going to tell you, if you act like a child, I'm going to treat you like a child, and I'm going to put you over my knee, and I'm going to spank you like a little child. You come back here, but I'm going to do it with a ton of jail time. Do you understand? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal once you accept this agreement. You can never change this or undo this. Do you understand? How to plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated. I will find you guilty. I will send you to 3 days in jail. I'll give you credit for 1. I'm going to suspend your license for a year. Do not drive until you get a license. I am also now going to hit you with these DPS surcharge that you will be required to pay. That is a $3,000 surcharge you're going to be required to pay. You will also be required to pay the court costs, which are around $400, $500. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to get it one way or the other. Because if you don't, every $100 that you owe, you will be sitting 1 day in jail. So you can imagine on a $35,000 to $4,000 bill right now that you're going to get, how much you will sit in jail. I want you to understand that we will not tolerate DWIs in Harris County, and we're going to get blood one way or the other. Do you understand? It's just not fair when it's so easy to find another way. You know, I like to drink. I like to drink a lot. I love my meals really, really spicy. And I love to go out with my wife. How do you think I do it, though? Right. And then I can just be towed, you know? But that's the responsible thing to do. And I hope that you really get it from now on. Because God forbid you do something that you really can't walk away from. Do you understand? All right. Good luck. Thank you. Hi, Ms. Brown. How are you? I'm sorry to see you in this circumstance. You know, you now picked up a terroristic threat, serious bodily injury, you're facing a year in jail. You know, the thing that I told all of them that
I like to drink. A lot. Even the judge admits it. But he pays $40 for an Uber. You don't. You'll pay in jail time.
You know, sticks and stones, right? But words can hurt sometimes, right? As you now see, if you've now picked up a new case. I don't know how we go forward. What do we do? I don't know either. You're 19, right? Where did we go? Because you had a home to go to, but we don't know if we can put you back in the home. No way under any circumstance am I going to let you just out on the street. That's a death sentence. Because where would you go? Who are you going to be with? How are you going to eat? I can't do that. We can't just give you a PR bond. I have to know where you're going to go, who you're going to be with, so we don't set you up for failure. Do you know the phone number to that house? Have you given it to Josh? Okay. Don't say it out loud. If you can write it down, we're going to try to get in contact with them. We can call now so that we can see if they're willing to take you back. And then we'll go from there. Because I don't know how we're going to go forward. I don't want to let you out on the street. Is there anyone here you know for her? You've been in contact with the caseworker or social worker or no? Have you talked to them lately?
Not specifically.
Okay, so I guess, can we try to do that today? Let's roll it to tomorrow. Let's see, are they going to accept her back? If not, how do we go forward? I don't want to keep you here for a long time, but I just don't know how to go forward at this time. So let's give it a day. Let's see what Josh can find, and then we'll bring you back, okay? All right. Sticks and stones, just, I'm glad that you didn't follow through. That's good. Now, we have to get you to learn self-control. so that you don't flip out. That's the name of the game now. All right? Think about it. Okay. All right. Thanks. Antonio.
In the courtroom, a man named Mr. Bryant stood before the judge, caught in a storm of consequences that could have been completely avoided. It started with a crash. Officers found him at the scene, injured, his car wrecked, and 2 loaded firearms inside. Though his blood alcohol level was technically below the legal limit, the crash, the guns, and the signs of intoxication told a much bigger story. What made matters worse? A past conviction that was supposed to be expunged showed up again, haunting him like a ghost from a file that should have been erased. Even though the law says expunged records shouldn't be used against you, reality proves otherwise, especially in Harris County. The judge wasn't having it. He'd seen this pattern too many times. Repeat offenders getting a slap on the wrist and ending up back in court, or worse. So, this time there were real consequences. Jail time, a suspended license, thousands in fines, and the weight of a record that doesn't disappear no matter what the paperwork says. But the real message here isn't just about punishment. It's about choice. The judge made it clear. $30 on an Uber could have saved Mr. Bryant from thousands in fines, days in jail, and a lifetime of consequences. It's not about drinking, it's about being responsible when you do. And then there's the young woman, just 19, with nowhere to go. A new charge hanging over her head, and no safe home to return to. The judge's concern was real. It wasn't just about justice, but survival. Without support, putting her back on the street could be a death sentence. This story is a wake-up call. One poor decision, driving under the influence, skipping support, ignoring consequences, can derail your entire life. So here's the lesson. Don't wait until the law steps in. Take control. Make better choices while you still can.